Just so you know.
Just so you know. Okay, I am making this announcement in compliance with the Open Public Meeting Act, being Chapter 231, Public Law 1975 laws of the state of New Jersey. The Planning Board Secretary has prepared a schedule of the meeting of the Planning Board of the Borough of Kenilworth for the year 2021 and has posted a true copy of this schedule on the bulletin board located at the front entrance of Borough Hall and has mailed true copies of this schedule to the local source and the Star Ledger and is maintaining a copy of this schedule in Borough Hall. Accordingly, the notice requirements of the Open Public Meeting Act has been satisfied in regards to this meeting. Can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Paterno?
Here.
Mr. Finestrella?
Here.
Mr. David?
Here.
Mr. Clementi?
Here.
Mr. Ladowdy?
Here.
Mr. Colella?
Here.
Mr. Scuderi?
Here.
Mr. Herbalario?
Here.
And also present is Mr. Cuito from Harbor
Okay.
Engineering.
A motion for the approval minutes of November 18th? Motion. Motion by Mr. Finestrella, seconded by Mr. Scuderi. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Any communications, Kathy?
We have a thank you card from Kevin O'Brien for the flowers that we sent him.
Very good. So if you don't know, the board sent Mr. O'Brien some flowers, and he's doing well, and he wishes us all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Merry Christmas, Kevin. Okay.
I'll be watching.
So our next thing is up for resolution. So if, Mr. David, would I be out of order to do all three at one time and talk about it at the same time and just read them and say what's what?
Yeah, for the sake of brevity, I think that's the best approach.
Okay, so we have three resolutions. It's 654 Quinton Avenue. We also have the 50 Bow Right application, and we also have the Magni application. The situation that we have here tonight is that our planning board attorney and our planner are both out ill, so we don't have formal resolutions. But in our last meeting, we told these people that they could go ahead and get started pending, not pending, but when the resolutions kick into play, everything will then be formalized. So what the board is saying right now, everything that we asked for, they did, so we will memorialize the resolution in our next reorg meeting, and I'll tell you about that maybe in our new business, but I just want you to know that's how we handle this. We did not want to have this meeting tonight because these applicants put a lot of time and effort into that. Does the board members all agree with that? Yes. Okay, so then let's move on to old business. Kathy?
Do I look old?
Do you have any old
I
business?
have no old business.
Anyone else have any old business? Seeing none, let's move on to some new business. We have any new business? We do. In our new business, we are I don't know if others have seen our schedule, but our schedule for the reorg meeting was for, when was it for?
January 13th.
It was for January 13th. However, we're not going to have our reorg meeting on that night. We're going to have our reorg meeting on January 6th at 7 o'clock with no workshop. Immediately following that, pardon me, immediately following that, we'll do the three resolutions that we just read in order to get them off the table. Our first new meeting was scheduled for January 13th. We're moving that to January 20th at 6:30. All our meetings will be the second Thursday of the month, and they will all be at 6:30 workshop, 7 o'clock meeting. Anyone want to add to that, or did I cover that pretty good?
Sounds good.
I don't need to read these dates, it's the second Thursday, okay? And that's all the new business that I have at this point. We all good?
Yep. Just
Okay.
a question.
Sure.
Under new business. Do we know of new applications? I think that we will have to hear At our first meeting in January?
They're not completed yet.
But we expect them to be.
Ed is working on them, and he expects that we'll have 2 by the end of the year.
Okay. So, I mean, we're rolling right along here, so now we're down to the comments for the good of the board. Anyone have any comments for the good of the board? I know Mr. Clementi has something to say.
Merry Christmas.
There you go. I love it.
There you go.
Anyone else?
Here, same.
I guess.
Same.
Okay. Mr. David?
I repeat the same.
You know.
And Happy New Year to all.
You know I got some comments, right?
Yep. That's why we're being quick.
Okay. I just would like to say that I am honored and proud to be a part of this board. I love everything that we do here. Pardon me, I'm getting choked up. I think that we do a great job, and we have met some challenges over the year, this past year. And I think we came out on top of every one of them. It seems that this board has gone this way and this way sometimes, but it seems like no matter what way the pendulum went, we were pretty much in line. My decisions, sometimes my thought process on applications sometimes were going one way, but by hearing all the board members' input, made me see a different light. And that's what's important when you have a board, and when you have good people in the board, and they're doing it all for the right reason. So I would like to say thank you for that. And it does make my job, Mr. David's job, a lot easier, because I may say black, he may say blue, but maybe somebody likes red, and then you have to listen to that. So thank you for that. And I also want to thank Kathy very, very much for keeping us all in order, making sure that we have what we need, and always being right there for us. And every once in a while, when you see her go like this and she's going like this, she's not biting her gum, she's telling me that I forgot to say something. So this is very, very important, and this was a great addition to the planning board a few years back, when it used to be a planning board member that did this, and now we have someone like Kathy who could keep us all in line. And to Harbor and Shamrock, wonderful, wonderful job throughout the year, giving us the information we need. Mr. Ravo, who's not here, outstanding attorney for us. I think he did a wonderful job this year, and I just would want to wish you now all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you and your family. Stay healthy and prosperous. Thank you very much.
Hey, Rich, you just made me think of something. One thing that I would like to add to that is, I think what I'm most proud of the board doing is, and we had at least 2 or 3 examples of what we did, is where we actually, so the applicant comes in, of course they want to, in most cases, spend as little money as possible, but still get their project done and so on. And in at least 2 or 3 cases where we pushed the applicant to provide a better project.
Right.
And to the benefit of the borough. So the gas station that comes to mind.
Absolutely.
Magny, which we're supposed to approve tonight, and Bowie. Those are 3 right there, where this board said, we like your project, we like what we see, but it can be improved upon. So go back and come back with a better proposal, and they ended up getting their approval. So I think that's what I'm most proud of this board this year, is taking the extra effort, pushing them to do a little bit more, so that when our residents and visitors to Kenilworth, they see, buildings and structures that look nice.
Right.
So, anyway.
So I'm glad you added that, because you're 100% correct. You're 100% correct. Anyone else? Okay, seeing none, motion to open, someone have a motion?
Oh, sorry. Motion to open the meeting to the public.
Motion made by Mr. David and seconded by everybody in the room. All in favor? Aye. Okay, anyone from the public wishing to speak?
Good evening, everyone. Bob Herbert, 14 North 12th Street, Kenilworth. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, everybody. Mr. David's last comment about a couple of the applications that came, as a concerned citizen and citizen here in Kenilworth, those projects, the gas station did come out very nice, and I'm sure where the old bar used to be, when they start building that new factory, I'm sure that's going to be very nice, seeing the, the plans that showed the building. It looked very attractive. It's nice into our gateway. And I agree with that. My only problem I have is between Michigan Avenue and the Boulevard and Route 22.
Michigan Avenue and the Boulevard.
Yeah, the gas station.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Yes, it's beautiful. It was a mess. It was quite an eyesore, but now it's beautiful. But what we did was, we just kicked the can down the street. And what I mean by that, we have mayor and council, 6 people in the mayor. We have this committee, right? We have a new code enforcement officer for property maintenance. And this property's been almost a year, and nobody's doing nothing about it. And
Which one are you talking about?
the corner, and I'm going to ask each and every one of you tomorrow during the day, drive by, the corner of Jefferson and Michigan. It's a,
Are you talking about behind the convenience
If
store?
I can, Mr. Herbert, you're talking about Centron?
yes.
Yeah, I've filed official complaints with the borough on that property.
And nothing's being done.
Well, I don't know that nothing's being done, it might be a slow process, but anyway,
Well-
believe me, I'm well aware of it, and I'm sure you're aware also, I'm sorry to interrupt, we're not an enforcement board, so, you can come and talk to us.
But you care about the town. And
No, but again-
and what I'm asking you, I guess I should say off the record, can you bring it to the proper authority to enforce?
Well, and I'm advising you that I personally have done that because it bothers me, but you're bringing it up at a planning board meeting where we have no enforcement authority over that property. This is a mayor and council issue.
Same thing when a builder does something without a permit, you guys have no authority. I know you're gonna check with your professional, but you have no authority. That's why they're here in front of the board. But again, for the benefit of the town, I'm concerned with the chemicals that are in the bags that are being stored outside, which violates our master plan.
Now I know.
If there's nothing out there, if nothing's supposed to be stored outside, the front of the building's a parking lot. And if you drive by there, there's all chemicals on the blacktop, and every time it rains, where does that go? Into our roadway, into our sewer system, which down the road is going to impact us some way in our waterway. That's all. I just wanted to bring that attention to you guys.
Thank you, Ron.
Now, the other point I'd like to bring up, and I think everybody should get a copy of the township ordinances, and to use an example, if somebody gets a prior approval to build something on the front of their house, and it doesn't have a roof on it, but it meets the required setbacks. And what I remember of the past master plan, you're allowed to increase your front platform as long as you don't break that 20-foot mark. I mean, the house is a 25-foot setback, but your egress, we changed that it can go up to 20, as long as you don't violate 20 feet. So that's probably why if somebody built that with a permit, did it, and then adds a roof, once you add a roof to your front stoop and connect it to the house, it becomes part of the structure. So that needs to be a 25-foot setback then. Just so you guys know, you should look into the ordinance. I know the second floor, you're allowed a 2-foot setback on the second floor level only, but the ground level, you can build out, make your platform bigger, as long as you don't increase greater than the 20-foot front yard setback. And that's probably why things are approved. But once you add a roof, now it becomes part of the structure. And, it should have went through a variance process, which it did, and you guys ended up approving it. And it looks beautiful. I drove by there. It does fit in the neighborhood and stuff like that. But in the future, if something's approved and then somebody adds a roof, that's the reason why. Because once you add the roof, it becomes part of the structure, and you need to meet that 25-foot setback. Just, FYI.
We appreciate it, Robert. Thank you.
And, things need enforcement around here, and I believe we have in our courts and things like that for the betterment of the town. We have a good prosecutor, a good judge, and if it gets to this point, it can't be handled with some warnings. Things are being processed, but right now, there's no enforcement out there. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Anyone else from the public wishing to speak? No? Okay.
No? Motion to close the public portion of the meeting?
Motion.
Closed by Mr. David, second by Mr. Venestrella. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Mr. David?
A motion to adjourn?
Second.
Seconded by Mr., motion made by Mr. Davis, seconded by Mr. Ladati. All in favor?
Aye.